everyone. I am Sal, and with me, the man who once tried to microwave his laptop, Victor.
Hey Sal, welcome to Tech on Trial, the podcast where we dissect the latest tech trends and separate the gems from the junk.
Thanks for taking that side from me. Today we are diving into a topic I am particularly very interested in, kind of a doozy topic, the dark side of generative AI.
Dun dun dun. Yeah, generative AI. It's sort of like the new neighbor who seems cool at first, like when they just move in, but might borrow your lawnmower or another tool and just never return it. You know that
Oh,
guy. So yeah, so that's generative AI right now.
we all know that guy. Hey. But before we get into the nitty gritty, well, let's think of a bit of what you've been doing. Like we've been talking about AIs and LLMs, all of those fancy acronyms for those who are listening to us for the first time. Can you please give me a little bit of a rundown of what you've been doing, Vic?
Yeah, so all of the work has really been on the generative AI or LLM world at Apogee Suite. Really, our our modus operandi is all about developing cutting edge AI solutions built on this like really gargantuan ingest and understanding engine that we have that allows us to basically curate and then understand and catalog and do different things with information and then generate obviously a bunch of stuff. So we're really ultimately in the business of making AI accessible for people, but we also know the importance of doing that responsibly.
I think that's the catch, eh? Doing it responsibly.
Yeah,
So
that's right.
let's steer the pot a little bit. Got I think five or six kind of a burning questions about generative AI, and I know you got this scoop. So let's kick off. And the first thing I wanted to go through for our listeners is what is the deal with generative AI and why is getting so much attention?
Yeah, I mean, generative AI sort of came to the forefront to most people because of the launch of ChatGPT, where people were able to see it in action. So, like, the chatbot is a natural way for the generative AI to exist. However, it's not its first use and it's not its only use. Generally, generative AI style is like a creative genius locked inside a computer. It's like this little Wizard of Oz sitting in there and doing a lot of really cool things. It can write, it can draw, and if you tune it and fine tune it or embed the right things into it, it can even help you generate things like music and art. Its ability to mimic human creativity is awe inspiring, but again, it's all based on what you've shown it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, th- there is like we've seen all over the internet people, oh, you can sell a T-shirt with AI generated images, or you can sell a book on Amazon with an entire AI generated story and so on. But where's the line between creativity and chaos, I would say, like, and how can we prevent, if we can call it that, it's misuse?
Yeah, that's a very large topic, and it's generally top of mind for most companies, large companies especially, a lot of practices, a lot of industries, and especially the regulators, like the government themselves. So at the end of the day, it's like an ethical conundrum, right? It's sort of like where we're lacking safeguards or guidelines or regulations, and it could be worthwhile to have certain ones in play, though having too many is also restrictive to the development of the AI. So there's a mix to be had, and fortunately or unfortunately, the people who regulate us don't usually know a lot about AI, so they need people to educate them about this. And often, the people educating them are the very large companies like the Microsofts and Googles of the world. And that can lead to very odd rules that exist more to protect their AI than to protect AI as an industry kind of thing. So, what we really need is we need rules that ensure AI doesn't turn into a digital Frankenstein in the end.
Yeah, I got it. Like there's always an agenda, if particularly if you rely on the private sector, of course, like it's their own technology. I mean, there is a big one that probably a lot of people heard about, which is fake news, misinformation, deep fakes and all of those things. How do you think generative AI is staying up in that web?
Unfortunately, bad actors will act badly, and when they get new tools, they're going to continue to act badly. And that's sort of where we are with the use of generative AI for these nefarious means is like generative AI generally being a tool, just like a hammer. A hammer can be really good to build a house or do whatever, or it can be a murder weapon, right? So you're looking at generative AI is able to convincingly generate text, audio, video, like basically any media. And what that does is it gives these bad actors the ability to whip up convincing fake news in like zero time. It's like just give it a topic and let it go. It ends up being like having a master forger or a lock picker or something like that at your digital fingerprints in the end.
That's quite scary, I guess. Like, I mean, particularly for a new generation who's gonna grow up with all of that in front of them. But my question is, who is supposed to police this, and how would we do it? Like, not we, but I mean, how is it done? You have any
Yeah,
idea?
so I think like at the end of the day, it's largely a joint effort. You know, you sort of have to involve regulators, so like the government, you have to involve the tech companies themselves, and you definitely need the researchers to set rules and keep a watchful eye. The ultimate part of it is that you don't over police it and don't restrict the innovation that could come from this. So again, like I said before, there is a balance here. But at the end of the day, transparency is key, and knowing people's motives, including the regulators, is also key.
I don't believe I'm gonna throw that one, but with great power comes great responsibility, eh? So,
Yeah.
I mean, nerd
Spider
alert.
Man.
Yeah, but I mean, the on a lighter note, of course, there is the bad agents, and there is the all of the the risks that comes with innovation. Is not just like we can see that everywhere. Like I just face it, like even the atomic bomb, like for those who watch Oppenheimer and so on, like you can see like there are advancements and there's also a risk. But on a lighter note, this thing can also be a force of good. Eh?
Yeah, I mean, just think of all the positive uses that you could have from this. I mean, it enables people and companies that are very small to sort of like punch above their weight, which is quite nice. It allows you to try things on a much lesser or stringent budget, which is quite nice as well. And if you are close enough to a tech person who's good at this generative AI stuff, and you are an artist or a writer, there is the ability even to help, you know, create a model in your style, allowing you to rapidly iterate on things that you need. So, what this does is it'll help, or it is a valuable tool for all of these crafts and a lot for the tech companies too when used responsibly.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, we could go on and on and on and on with this subject, like it never ends. But for today,
Yeah.
that's a wrap, folks. Thanks, Victor, again for helping us out, getting a better light on the topic, and then to unraveling the mysteries of generative AI.
Yeah, for sure. Always a pleasure, Sal. And to our listeners, if you've enjoyed this episode, and I'm sure you have, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell.
Catch you in the next episode. Geeks, stay curious, stay tech savvy. This is Tech on Trial. This is Sal saying goodbye. Thank you.
Have a good week.